Hello, Internet. This is BoneCarlos with Nov17. I'm just going to go ahead and keep calling him Nov. Coming to you live from Derelict Watcher Tournament Edition to bring you another StarCraft 2 commentary. How are you doing over there, recently changed name buddy of mine?
Not bad, not bad.
Good, good. The players today are going to be none other than DJHelium, spawning as the Red Zerg. He is most famous for just being generally awesome in dropping the base and scratching them turntables. His opponent is going to be InZane, spawning as the Blue Terran. No relation to Billy Zane whatsoever in any shape, way, or form. What do you expect out of these guys since they are both Masters level players?
Good fundamentals, maybe some tricky shenanigans that the lower leagues of us don't do, and I expect drones, I expect marines, all that kind of crazy stuff.
Nice, but no SCVs. You know, no, that's too crazy. That's too off the charts, correct?
Nope, just mules.
Just the power of the mule. Speaking of mules, I was actually recently playing free for all, and now this is something that I want to ask not only you but also everyone out there. I was recently playing in a free for all, not even a free for all. It was versus AI, 3 versus AI, and I was playing as Terran, and I took 3 quick expansions. So I took my main, I took my natural expansion, and I took 2 other expansions before the 6-minute mark. Is that rude or in any way not allowed or frowned upon?
I'm gonna say you're in the clear on that one.
Okay, so it wasn't the person, my quote-unquote teammates that decided to attack my expansions and destroy them so they could put up their own expansions. They're the ones that were in the wrong.
It's a pretty dick move.
Yeah, you know, and then, you know, at that point, I'm just like, wow, they took out 2 of my expansions. I'm just going to sack this game and destroy their main bases as well. Yeah, I know, you know, tit for tat and 2 wrongs don't make a right, but it really felt good. I mean, we ended up losing the game, but still, the original culprit was the 2 teammates destroying my base, correct?
Yep, you know what they say, death to the interlopers.
Damn straight, hell yeah, I do enjoy that, and already we see a Reaper coming out. I do believe the timing on that was an 11-11, so actually no, there's no way that was an 11-11, especially with him already having 20 food counts. A little bit later of the earliest possible Reaper harassment, but we're gonna see some Reaper action coming up. I don't think DJHelium's actually DJHelium doesn't even have anything in his natural expansion, so the Reaper is gonna go ahead straight into the main. Zerglings are already on the field for the Zerg player. InZane is just gonna go ahead and scout around and gonna go ahead and micro his units, probably try to pick off a Zergling there, and it does catch a Zergling. Manages to get 1 kill to its name. If it does get another one, that will pay the Reaper off in the minerals. 1 more attack will do it. InZane decided to go back home, rejoin its Reaper buddy.
Yep, looks like they're gonna have a party now, except they don't really want to get close to that queen, because that one Reaper's still gonna die, and there's no reason to lose that if he doesn't have to.
Yep, and look at that, Reaper already has 2 kills of the name, so it's already paid for itself. And we see 2 Zerglings actually manage to take out the SCV, building the command center at the natural expansion, so delaying that expansion. Always great. So already we see both players doing some very high-end sort of micro counter attacks, swing bys, counter attacks, and all that other fun jazz. The Reaper's going to go ahead and easily take care of this Zergling, and the command center is going to be immediately begin construction yet again. So already looking at the workers lost tab, we see resources, man, units lost, man. Both players are doing great, and if this early indicator is anything indicating the indication of the later game, I'm very excited.
My only question is that if the Zerg player's lost 4 units and he's lost 106 resources, where was that 1 resource lost from?
That extra 6 resources?
Yes, I mean, what cost 6 resources that you could possibly kill?
Well, damn.
I missed A mystery question for the viewers out there, because I have no idea.
Yeah, there we go. So, and you know what? I feel in a very charitable mood. Already we're going to see Reapers on the one side with Helium backup, Zerglings on the other. Charitable mood. If, wow, these Zerglings are just surrounding these Hellions. Going to go ahead and take them out very, very quickly. Looks like InZane is going to go ahead and pull back his units to try to take care of this early Zergling aggression. This bunker is not going to go down. Cancelled immediately. The SCVs are finally going back to the main expansion that he took, and it looks like InZane's going to go ahead and clear this up. So, like I was going before, I feel in a charitable mood, and if any viewer out there could figure out where, well, actually, you know what? No, he canceled an extractor early on.
That gives you 6 resources?
No, you since the extractor counts, I think 25 minerals. Correct, or is it 50? 25 or 50 minerals.
It's 25.
Yeah, 25 minerals. You gain if you cancel it, you recover back, I think, 75% of it. So the math will work out. He regained, you know, like 16 minerals or something like that out of the original 25, or 19 minerals out of the original 25. So that's where the 6 minerals loss comes from. Boom.
Very, very close right there, though. These Zerglings being in this little alcove over here between the 2 expansions, I'm not really liking that too much, because you're essentially gonna be bunching them up for these Hellions to get max damage there. So you definitely gotta be careful right there.
Yeah, and you are exactly right, especially since there isn't any sort of secondary backdoor ramp to this third base. The reason for these Zerglings to be there, not really the greatest, I would feel, especially with that queen. And look at that, gave him the slip, the surround on all those aliens. All the Zerglings do the damage, and almost InZane did some Fast and the Furious type of shenanigans to get into that third base, but no, not so much.
Dude, I would have just went right in there and said, "Screw you, Zerglings."
I mean, yeah. At that point, once you decided to push forward, it was pretty much all or nothing. Any sort of hesitation, it would have caused exactly what we saw on screen. Might as well take out a couple of drones while you're at it. But looking back home at InZane, he has a nice saturation at his natural expansion. I mean, he has 28 out of 24 at his natural, 12 of 24 in his main. So a little bit of a slip up there for himself, but he's bringing up his barracks up to par. He already has 3, bringing up with the 4th and 5th, along with the factory and a starport, and another barracks that should be about the tip-top producing that you could do as a Terran off of 2 bases. Am I correct in that assumption?
You're definitely correct on that. Yep, and it's just one thing I'm kind of not surprised about is we have ourselves some bio here from our Terran player, and we have Banelings with speed going to be in the near future here, because those centrifugal hooks are just about halfway done. So I'm looking for like a Ling Bling, possibly Muta kind of play here is my suspicion. He does have a macro hatch being built, so that implies to me that he wants that extra hatchery in his base on top of this 4th base he's grabbing. So he's going to be able to have access to a lot of larvae very quickly.
Yeah, especially with that macro hatch. I mean, once you have a macro hatch against a Zerg opponent, you know it's going to be a lot of low tier-ish, very cheap units, which just screams Ling Bling. And something that I just find very, very enjoyable, especially if those Banelings do actually manage to connect into a huge chunk of Marines, which is what InZane is doing. He's going for just a pure MMM type of aggression. Here come the Banelings. He's gonna go push forward with the centrifugal hordes, and get a nice. Oh, those connects were great.
Not the best connects, but definitely not the worst at all either. I mean, I feel like you could have did a little bit better micro with those. With those 2 medvacs there, but I'm not gonna be a stickler.
Yeah, but that's the connect you wanted. Where is InZane? Oh, he is just. Look at DJHelium pulling InZane left and right. There was a Zergling swing by, a counterattack at the 3rd, and they just allowed him to just mop up those that initial force that was pushing out in the middle of the map. So those earlier Zerglings that we saw are hovering around the 3rd base. Really pay dividends, and that's something that no matter what the race is, whether it be Terran, whether it be Protoss, whether it be Zerglings, Zerglings, whether it be Zerg, always position units or give yourself the opportunity to do just a counter attack. And that's something that DJHelium did quite well. Widow Mines across the middle of the map. We see Burrow done. Oh, he did catch that, so that Zergling will be taken out. But oh, I hope we see some Baneling mines in the future.
Yep, I mean, if he does that Burrow here. Our Terran player though does not have that drilling clause, so that's gonna make those mines just a little bit less effective. Oh, and that is something that can happen that I want to point out with bio mines, is that those mines can take out your own units. If those Zerglings just ran up on those Marines like we saw, the missiles, hit them as they were, meleeing down, that biome. That's kind of what happens.
Yep, and now the Zerglings are going to get a complete surround on this bio force of InZane, clean everything up quite nicely. Medivacs are trying to boost their way out of there. At the same time, InZane is going to try to take his fourth base of his own. Why not start healing up these SCVs? And now we're going to see Mutalisks attack the front. Generally not what you want to happen. And behind it, DJHelium is taking his fifth base, putting his Zerglings all around the map with those overlords. So he has himself quite a bit of vision, really covering himself for any sort of drops or counter attacks. And InZane is really backed up against the wall here.
Yeah, but wow, nice pick off on that Burrow Zergling right there. It's like he almost knew it was there somehow. But one thing I'm a little bit surprised about though is just the fact that if you're going Ling Bling Muta, I really feel like he would have more gas than this, based on the number of bases he has. I mean, he has 1 base, 4 gas, 6 gas, 8 gas. So our Zerg player is phenomenal at spending that money. I mean, I gotta give him credit. His macro is fantastic, because how are you have 8 gas and only 300, or 8 geysers and only 300 gas right now? That is some money spending.
He does have 2 upgrades already done. He has those double Evo chambers, so that's definitely where a lot of that gas is going. He's not spending any of those upgrades on his air units just yet. And this 5th base is already up and running. Already done. Needs to transfer over some drones, but InZane spots this with a small squad of Marines with the tank backup. But at the same time, the main attack is happening at the front yet again. DJHelium is going to go ahead and split his forces. He wants to save his 5th base because it is getting dangerously low. Already in the red. It might not go down. And wow, and
these mines need to burrow.
There they go. They did burrow. They get a couple of volleys off, take down a bunch of Zerglings.
We got some burrowed banelings over here.
Oh man, just action happening across the entire area of this map. And now it seems like it's going to stabilize just a little bit. Food count is definitely in the favor of Helium at the moment, but that's really a little bit of a deceptive number, since all that DJHelium is using really at the moment is Zerglings and Mutalisks. But now Ultralisks are on the field, and generally that is definitely the end game of Mutalinging player, or Muta-blinging player, is really those Ultras. Survive long enough, force your opponent to keep using those Marines, keep using that bio to just charge forward with a dozen or so Ultralisks.
Yep, and I mean, honestly, you're correct in that. I've seen many a time, you're already investing in, speed upgrades for melee units, carapace, claws. It just makes sense to go into Ultralisk. I mean, granted, the broodlings that broodlords shoot out do get affected by the carapace and melee upgrades, so that's one thing. But it's more natural just to go into Ultras based on what you're already using.
Yeah, exactly. And here we go. Those Zerglings are trying to get us around. Huge hits off those Widow Mines, just completely obliterate all of the Zerglings. Ultralisks are there. They're focusing down on the Widow Mines. The Mutalisks are there for backup. Finally, the Ultralisks are going to get into the heart, into the meat of that MMM ball. They're going to just rip all of those Marines to shreds, and InZane is forced to retreat. Mutalisk overseers give chase along with those Ultras. Unfortunately, they can't jump high enough to claw into the air, and InZane is just trying to position himself into the maximum spot available to give himself a nice little bit of a concave. But concaves be damned when you're dealing up against Banelings and Ultralisks.
Yeah, I mean, those Ultras are, I like a level 3 claws, level 3 carapace, and chitinous plating are all very close to finishing at the same time. So those Ultralisks are going to go from 2-2 to 5-3 within 10 seconds.
And at the same time, we're going to see 3-3 finishing up for InZane in a few seconds. He's just, I would have waited, just, there it is, it's finished. Oh, what a perfect timing on that. 3-3 done, but at the same time, you were right. 5-3 for those Ultralisks. That debris fell on a few units, both Zerg and Terran forces alike. Those two Marines wasting a bailing on that, but at this point, 200 army for DJHelium, 187 for 200 for InZane. You could just forgive a little bit of a slip like that, and we're going to see Medevacs just trying to sneak on by in the back of the map, and a little bit of a pincer action by InZane, but really, he sees all at this point.
Yep, and he's got about a good big cluster of mines over here, you know, over by this base that I'd like to see him do something with, but I mean, I guess keeping that threat there is pretty nice. Little drop here, about 3 Marauders and a bunch of Marines. I could see him taking out a bunch of tech right here if he, you know, targets, fires his Ultralisk down immediately.
No, he decided to try to take down the hive. As soon as the forces for Helium showed up, he picked up, went into the natural. He's going to drop again, try to pick off a couple of drones. Looking at the income tab, I mean, see, the Harvester count is high for both players. 85 for Helium, 77 for InZane. That's actually quite high for a Terran player that could use those mules. Isn't that right?
Yeah, I generally like to chill at about 60, 65. I mean, it all depends.
No, very
really.
true. Everyone has their own little bit of flavor. Finally, InZane decides to say, you know, enough with this debris. I want it gone. I want it out. Takes it out. And at the same time, the Mutalisks were there to take out that drop that happened in his own main base. And look at this surround. Ultralisks left, right, up, down. They're going to just absorb a bunch of those Widow Mine shots, and they're going to give chase to the MMM ball yet again. And InZane decides to pick up what he can and head on home. Bailings are there a little bit too late, but still, that's A-OK. Transfuses on those Ultralisks. These Widow Mines are still there, and oh, they're just, there it is. Overseer gets there just in time.
I was gonna say, I'd really like to see them all reset and detonate.
Oh, I was waiting for it too, buddy. And I'm not even a Terran player.
Oh, all right. Those Widow Mines went ahead and detonated, but gave their lives.
There's not really much you could do up against Ultralisks, especially when they're maxed out. So, wow, we see Planetary Fortress Wall going up in, and this just screams to me that InZane is just saying, you know what, you can't attack my main, I'm just going to go ahead and spend it around the extreme edges of the map, but Mutalisks are just flying around as well. They're going to spot this, this command center that's floating over to InZane's 5th base. They might take it down quite easily, actually.
Can I just point out that those bird banelings that I pointed out earlier
yeah,
are still
they are
alive?
still there. I actually clicked on them as soon as you spoke, so they are still there, biding their time, waiting for the opportune moment, and it might come in quite a few seconds. Here comes Ultras. Are going to go ahead and knock away at these planetary fortresses. One is in orange, one is in red, one is in yellow. 2 red, 1 down, 2 down, 1 left in yellow, but at what cost? Around 4 or 5 Ultras were taken down. Finally, the MMM ball of InZane is there, and it looks like DJHelium is gonna just a little bit of an indecision. Oh my lord!
Those banelings, they went off, and the hit wasn't as good as it could have
Yeah,
been. But
it
was
did
something.
some sort of damage. But looking at the units lost tab, we finally see the resources count. I would actually say about even though that that DJHelium has lost around 7,000 more resources. Given the fact that he's been using Ultralisks for quite some time, might be a little bit of a deceptive number, especially with these Mutalisks still running around the map, trying to pick off whatever they can. Look at these missile turrets going down. A little bit of an overreaction by the Terran player. Well, not really, especially with how many, wow, how many Mutalisks do we see on the field? 24 on the field. Wow.
Dude, it's at 25 minute. It's at 25.
Oh, there you go.
Switch.
Wow, you know, yeah, they're definitely. You are correct. Mutiling bling into Ultralisks into Mutalisks. Why not? And look at that, 7th base by DJHelium right next door to InZane's 5th, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th base. Yeah, that is correct. So, wow, what do both of these players need to do at this point to just try to secure a win? Because both players are just entrenched.
Yep, I mean, granted, our Terran player isn't nearly as entrenched as he was when he had those 3 planetaries, but he's in there. One thing two upgrades that I've really become a fan of is that building armor and the high sec tracking for like the range upgrade for missile turret and all that good stuff. That would have helped him quite a bit here, but it just made it that much harder for those planetaries to kill. I mean, he had the money to burn. I'm just a bias towards those upgrades lately though, so don't mind me.
And don't mind those Ultralists either. They just melted to this MMM ball that InZane managed to produce. But really, looking at the DJHelium's bank, we see him remax out of 200 very, very quickly. The Ultralist overextended for quite a bit, but decided to pull on back. Great move by Helium. Decided to come back to those queens that have those transfuse abilities. Not the energy, but they do have the ability. The Mulists are parked in the middle between the 4th and 5th bases, and they're just going to attack whatever they can. Mass SCVs trying to repair that single missile turret. No such luck. The Mulists are going to go ahead and push forward into the main base, splitting up InZane because at the same time, Zerglings, Ultralists, Queens at the front, Mutalisks in the main base. As a Terran player, this must hurt your heart just a little bit right now.
A little bit, but he's not really hitting him from multiple angles effectively. Like those Mutalisks kind of got shoot away real easily. Well, that's what happens when your Mutas fly a little too far ahead of that Overseer. You're gonna have a bad time. Okay?
And at the same time, we saw InZane take out DJHelium's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 base. But at the same time, Mutalisks are trying to attack this planetary fortress, but the mass SCVs keep it alive for just that much longer. And look at that, we see Ultralisk attacking this other planetary fortress. Already has 5 kills in its name. It will go down. Unfortunately, the powers of those Ultralisks with that +3 Kaiser Blades is just too high. DJHelium losing Overseers, Overlords left and right. Now can no longer remax at 200, but he did manage to take another base down in the southern end of the map. And a little bit of an accordion action because Helium is attacking him with Mutalisks on one side, Ultralisk on the other, pulling him back and forth. But really, InZane is doing a great job of just preventing any sort of massive losses.
Yeah, but I mean, in the end here though, our Zerg player has a huge bank. Like it's just growing bigger. He's got about 3,500 minerals and about 3,000 gas coming up here. Whereas our Terran player, he's getting mined out here very quickly, so he's got to do something soon.
Wow, you are correct. He has 1 mineral patch left at the 3rd, completely oversaturated at his 4th. So this is basically all or nothing.
Yeah, I mean this is the Zerg player, since he's taken pretty much every base on his side of the map with the exception of the top left corner. It's just winning that long.
And unfortunately, InZane does not know that all of those bases have been taken just yet, and yet he's going to be taken attacked again by the Mutalisks at his 3rd expansion. Just a little bit of a harassment by DJHelium. Those Widow Mines are going to go underneath it. They do have those drilling claws, and they will take out most of them, all of them, by that MMM ball. Long range mining, not really as effective as you would like. Ultras are going to go ahead and take out all those missile turrets because unfortunately those missile turrets can't shoot down. Oh, those poor humans that are in those missile turrets. What can they do? Really nothing.
Find a better
well,
job.
At this point, they really can't because they are dead. Looks like both of the armies are on opposite sides of the map. InZane's going to go from the southern end of the map. Helium going to go ahead and retreat. I don't...
Attacking... I don't know if I like this decision to attack the base that has 6 spines. I mean, he is taking it out, but it's just going to be wearing down your army. That is very
true, but this effectively cuts off any sort of mining bases for DJHelium. He has 1 mineral patch left. 2, 3, 4 mineral patches left. Oh, wow.
Alright, well, this is going to be kind of an interesting game here now. I mean, both players have a fairly sizable armies. I'd go with the Zergs being just a little bit scarier, just so that little cluster phase could make a lot of bad
yeah, definitely true. And here he comes. We're going to go ahead and see a nice little bit of a split. Ultralisks and Banelings on one side. We see Ultralisks and Banelings on the other, but they're not really quite sandwiching in together. Great Baneling hits, and finally the sandwich, the anvil, the hammer has happened. InZane tries to picks up quite a bit of his army, but really looking at the army supply now, 72, he lost about 50 army supply in that engagement. Now he really doesn't have anything left, but DJHelium still has plenty of Ultralisks. He does have 11 on the field with those 3 queens still alive, still transfusing. These Ultralisks just become that much more dangerous.
Oh Oh yeah, I've actually seen a pro replay where it was a ton of full energy queens just infinitely transfusing one Ultralisk. Did it kill a lot of stuff? Yes, it did. It was actually in the WCS top 5 plays.
Oh, the
week,
WCS,
something like that, that I saw.
that one was just recently played, right? About a couple weeks ago, right?
Yep, I believe you are correct. And yep, when just as I kind of suspected deep down in the corners of my mind, DJHelium did pick up the victory here. I mean, it just kind of goes to show. I mean, it goes with mech, bio, whatever. You let the Zerg take all these bases that he wanted. You're either gonna lose from infinite tech switches, the fact that he just has way more money than you. It just any kind of reason. You just can't let him take all the bases that he wants. You got to contest. I try to contest the 4th base onward incredibly heavily because that's when they really get into that like.
Exactly, and that's
God-like
exactly
thing,
what
you
we
know?
saw. I think I felt he should have done at least try to do more drops. That's something that Terran you really need as a Terran to be able to do those multi-prong drops. Not even a multi-prong drop, just a single drop. I mean, I know DJHelium was applying pressure, doing the best he could to keep InZane occupied, but really the Terran backbone in any sort of anything really is those drops with those medevacs, especially with that boost.
Yeah, very true here. And I mean, in the end, bio mine is not effective against Ultralisk, Zergling, Baneling.
So that
random
was it for this
users.
replay. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If not, leave comments down below on what we can do to make it more enjoyable for you. Also, if you guys want us to cast one of your own replays, feel free to upload them to one of the major replay sites. Drop.sc is very popular. GG Tracker is also getting up there in rank. High Diamond currently, I feel. And that is it for me. I hope you guys enjoyed. Nov17, do you have any parting words of wisdom? Awesome. Later, guys.
No.
We're gone.